Welcome to Minot Talk.
It's Thursday at 9 a.m.
Is that Kyler says we need an intro? So
We need an intro.
Is that it?
But that's the idea of it. We could do some cheesy cutaway sounds like that.
Yeah.
Start with some like super generic da da da. Well, no, that was close. That was too close to Sports Center. We'll get
Everything in his mind is going to be Sports Center.
Probably.
You will probably want a red background too.
Of course, yes. Yeah. It'd be perfect. Give me the green screen. We'll get it all going. I swear.
Sports Center, your Spurs loss.
Hey, I'm cheering for the Knicks.
What a guy. What a guy.
We're going to see so much of the Spurs over the next 10 years. I was cheering for the Knicks.
Carl Anthony Towns. He's a cat guy. It's good to have City Council candidate DAve Wiley with us today.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm still waking up.
I feel the pain of that.
Beautiful way to start the day.
You know what's crazy is we used to do this at 8 a.m.
Oh, I remember that.
You used to do it at what time?
8 a.m.
Oh, that would even be harder.
Yeah, it was.
not fun.
It was. Every once in a while, one of us would be late.
Yeah.
Mainly me.
I wouldn't be as early as I should.
We are doing a special segment. We did this last Tuesday, and today is going to be the last day of doing it. Last Tuesday we had two segments of it where we had two city council people on to go and just discuss. Budget was the main topic. A couple other things as well, but budget was the main topic. Get different viewpoints on the same things. We invited 3 total candidates today. David. I keep wanting to call you Dave. I'm doing my very best. So I normally don't say David. I can say David. It's just my mind triggers out.
We're saying it's early.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So we invited David Wiley on. We also invited John McMartin. He had scheduling conflicts, so he was not able to make it on.
I think Eric Locken did too.
And Eric Locken, yeah. Okay. So it's great for you. We just get to hammer you 2v1.
I was going to say, so Eric and John don't want your vote.
Oh, gosh.
Well, hey, they're not here to do this themselves, I guess.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. You got to sell it.
Just kidding. Yeah,
And if they were here, they could defend themselves.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
All right. Last time we had the candidate interview themselves, just a 20-second deal. You've done this a ton over the last few weeks, but why don't you just give yourself a 20-second introduction of who David is?
All right. Good morning, Minot. My name is David Wiley. Of course, I'm a native of Minot, born and bred here. Graduated Minot High, graduated Minot State University, left for a long time, spent time in the military, and I'm back in town now. Back in town running for office.
It's awesome. Okay.
When did you move back to Minot?
In 2001, April
Fair.
2001.
So you've been back for the flood and everything.
I'm dating myself, but yes, I've been back that long. So yes,
That's good.
Yes,
That's good.
Yep.
Big topic that you get to, if elected, you get to jump right into the middle of. It's like jumping on a treadmill at 8 speed.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Yes. There's this little thing called the budget that basically is, if there's one purpose that council has it. There's a lot of things, but it's the budget. This is a revolving thing. The joke is either in budget season or preparing for the next one. Thoughts on kind of the preliminary budget that we've seen come out and kind of the direction that's headed. What's your thoughts on it?
It's mind-boggling. That's what my thoughts are on it. I remember reading over Josiah's proposed budget report if he were to get into office and everything the team went over. And it was 6 or 7 pages. And it growing up here, seeing, what we'd call Little Minot to what it's growing into now, it's mind-boggling to see the amount of money that's flowing through this town is unbelievable. So I think it's going to be difficult for anyone. But my basic overall philosophy is, especially when you get into bigger budgets like that, you know that there's always surplus spending. You know that there's always going to be ways where you can cut some of the fluff off. And without giving you a specific, I don't have any paperwork in front of me right now. I think it deserves a thorough vetting to go down every department, every line, see, are these numbers really justified?
Yeah. My young friends would say that you're trying to get their vote with this 6 or 7 pages.
Yeah.
That's normally my job to do some corny joke like that, Jonathan.
Yeah.
How would you just ask the next question?
So on the note, we'll start here.
Okay.
What would your biggest priority be when looking at the budget for it? What department would you want to make sure either gets funded, or what would your number one priority be?
Okay, I know everyone automatically just by default says, well, we have to fund police and fire, and I'm certainly not saying they're not, but what I've gone on since the beginning, I'd have to stay true to that, and that's because that's what the people have said would be roads and water. Not that anything would necessarily have to be cut because of that, but those are two things. And I think I've said this almost every forum or interview we've had. It's almost like a trust issue. Like if you can't fix the potholes, if you can't seem to take that, can we do this stuff first? Can we do these very basic, simple things before we even talk about some of the other stuff? I'm saying this would be my approach.
Yeah,
towards
for sure. Yeah,
the
big
city,
picture kind of.
right. The city. Although simultaneously knowing you can't say, okay, we're going to shut down this department and this department and this department until you guys get it fixed. I know it doesn't work that way as well, but that would be, as one vote on the council, that would be something I would push real hard for, only because I'd say 70% of everyone that I talk to, when I just casually ask someone on the street, hey, what would you like to see changed in the city? What would you like to do? And they'll just look up at you and say, can you fix the roads? Can they fix the roads, please? I get that all the time. So yeah.
So you would prioritize those roads, stuff like that, over public safety in the budget?
Almost, and here's why. I'm glad you asked me that question. I haven't even finished it. I'm in the middle of listening to this one of my gurus, this Russian lady, and just watching a video right now. And she's saying, anytime you hear the word safety, she said, you need to replace it with what it really is: control. Safety is just a cover word for control. Now, that being said, you can't apply that. I don't think the fire department's trying to control us, but you know what I mean. At least in different levels of government, when you hear the rhetoric all the time, that would still stay. I have some other plans for that, for the fire and the police. I would just kind of try to do my part in charge in the city and saying, because it covers other topics when everyone asks about what can we do to attract people here, what can we do to the infrastructure, all that. It's the first thing anyone's going to notice. If a guest is driving into Minot, what's the first thing you're going to notice? You're going to be going, God, these roads are really nice, or the opposite of that. Yeah. So I think that covers a lot, and I think that would be a very important thing to address, as well as cleaning up the water supply.
Very good.
Police and fire will, I don't think you'd be able to go in and take the axe to them too much, even if I publicly state that was my goal. I don't think you'd get too far.
It's going to be minimal what you can really
what you really can. That being said, I mean, there's a big difference between saying we are going to fully fund the police and fire department as opposed to saying we're going to adequately fund the police and fire department. Is there I said on one of the TV interviews, I said, this should be my campaign song, if I had one, is Rolling Stones, you can't always get what you want.
Fair.
Yeah. It really is true. I mean, I think we could all, you guys don't get gold-plated microphones.
No.
Do you? I mean, even silver-plated?
Come on, Jonathan.
Where's the bling? Where's the bling?
I thought the shoes were pretty close.
Right?
Exactly.
It does the job,
Exactly.
I like flatback.
So the city manager, Tom Joyce, has recently kind of been talking about proposing an idea of having a -3 budget proposal from every department head across the board. Would you be in favor of something like that coming to fruition, to see what that looks like? It sounds like we'll at least get an idea of what it looks like coming ahead, but what would your take on a -3% budget?
Well, without being able to see it right away on the surface, I would definitely entertain the thought. I would definitely, that sounds like a step in the right direction, because I think that would be attainable. I think that's something we could cut the budget without hurting too many people.
Sure.
I think that could be attainable. Yeah.
Then on that too, you kind of look at gosh, where's I going? levy currently, property taxes, is right about $20.1 million. Do you think that's a number that we should look to keep flat right now? Do you think we can get that down a little bit further, or do you think it would be maybe more prudent to raise that up, maybe that 3%
still
that we
can.
Yeah, while it's still a possibility, so we can have that wider budgetary
That wider budget. I would say for right now to head into it, I mean, and there's something, I would be seeking the counsel of people that are a little more, numbers oriented in that. I'm more of a kind of an idea guy in my, bringing my philosophies to light.
Sure.
But, I mean, I'm always for trying to bring down, the burden of the taxes on the people. I'll never forget the words always ring in my head. I believe his name was James C. Fox. He was a federal judge, and he said, "The power to tax is the power to destroy," which is an interesting thing to hear a federal judge to say, but they would also know a lot more than everyone else seeing all those cases in front of them. So if you keep that in mind all the time, I mean, it's realizing that, and also trying to get the customer, if you will, the taxpayer, they want to know that every dime that they're spending is going to something, and I would say, tangible to them. They don't want to see reports and things like that. That's why I think that's on their radar. They're like, they see if they feel the hurt of paying the taxes, and then they go, well, and I'm also feeling the hurt of the bumps that I'm riding over. Why is this? They can't get over that. That's why you keep hearing that.
Have to find some balance there.
Yeah.
So I guess
I would seek for that. I would seek to find a good balance.
That's fair. So I guess if we could find a way to lower the budget then, which is what council's talking about right now. They still want to get a lot of people on there that are going to be on there still want to try to lower that further than where it's at now.
Yep.
There's been talk and rumor coming from the city kind of mentioning, if that happens, there's a possibility for either benefits for city employees to decrease or possible layoffs of, somewhere 50 plus people is the rumored number. Who knows what that officially will turn out to be. What's your kind of take on that?
Well, my take on that, I mentioned that the first time in the interview. I hope I was trying to make a principle. I hope that didn't come across wrong when I said something about the benefits. I think I mentioned the fire department, but absolutely. I mean, if the people don't have it, then and they're the ones who are providing for, I don't believe that the city employees, the city itself, should have any sort of supremacy over the taxpayers themselves. I mentioned that before. I'm trying to deal with an abscess tooth. I don't have any dental insurance. I got to pay for that out of my pocket, and yet I'm paying, for the salaries and the benefits of the people that do. And it's just as a way of making a point. Yeah, that is not. I don't believe that's fair. So would I be afraid to answer your question to say, hey, we may have to cut some of this stuff out of there? I would not be afraid to do that. No, make some hard decisions and tough cuts. Do I want to see it happen? No. In a perfect world, we just walk in our backyard to the money tree and just grab more money, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like the federal government does. Right?
I don't know where they have their trees at, but it's incredible.
It's called a printing press. But I mean, we all have to live within our means, and so in a way, I would. The experience I would bring to the table would be the same experience that's, I've managed to live my life for all these years, and never missed a utility bill. I've never written a bounce check in my life. I've never misbalanced my checkbook. It's not that difficult. It just takes a little bit of diligence and discipline, and you can do it.
Those
to be
numbers
fair,
just get a little bigger.
Yeah. Yes, a lot bigger. A lot bigger.
I did write a bounce check once. It was to my mom.
No!
It was terrible, man. I'm sorry. It's like the way, are you doing all right? Yes. The money was supposed to be in there, and it got into the wrong account. I'm sorry.
Like if there's someone it's going to happen to, that's the best person for it to happen to.
Probably didn't call the state's attorney on it.
Yeah, for sure. So, to a real question, one of the proposals that we see that's going to be on the ballot on June 9th is going to be about a sales tax initiative that's going to basically supplement property taxes for the Parks District. drawing it more to the city budget, though, are you a proponent of the idea of using sales tax as maybe an alternative revenue stream for public safety or for something specific like that to help be able to lower property taxes on the budget?
Given the choice between the two, I would have to side with using a sales tax, just because it seems like the taxpayer has a little more control somewhat. Like if you really don't want to pay it, just don't spend the money.
Right.
Plus, and it even though it's not fair to guests who come in, it seems like you've got a broader base now, because anyone coming into the town that's paying sales tax to buying stuff, they're contributing to that. I don't necessarily agree with that on a moral scale. I mean, if I go to Minneapolis and buy something, I'm kind of like, what? That's pretty high sales tax. I don't live here.
Get a little sticker
You
shot.
guys just got a free one from me. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, that's how the world is wired right now. And again, between the two, I think I would rather see that, just because the thing with property tax. You guys, even if you don't own a home, you live in a home, you live in an apartment, anything, the second law of thermodynamics, I think the big word for it is called entropy. Okay. The second law of thermodynamics, everything is in a state of decay. It's going down. It comes back up again, but it's going down. And to tax people on something like a house, I mean, even your and actually have it go up all the time. It's just the opposite. Even your vehicle, if you notice, as your vehicle gets older, what happens? The registration goes down, and you get to a reach where they're like, you know what, you've contributed into the pot long enough, and I think you get those pioneer plates if you've had a vehicle when it's considered a classic 30 years or something. And yet your home, they do just the opposite for you. They're I would say, penalizing you on unrealized. When you look at, they'll put the value of your home up, and then they're going to tax you on that. But you haven't made any profit. You're not actually getting any real income from that, right? I think they call that unrealized income or whatever, and they're taxing you on that. So when you kind of look at the minutia on both sides, the more you look at property tax and dig into it, the more of an opponent I am of it. I mean, you're caught with, in the reality that government needs to fund itself somehow, some way. But I'm becoming less and less a fan of property tax. Yeah.
Very good. Well, let's see. We'll finish it off here. Is there anything, as you've gone through the budget, I assume you've gone through the budget a little bit now at this point, is that fair?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I've looked more of like when you look at the sheets and the departments.
It's huge.
It's big numbers, and it after the more you read, after about 15 pages into something, you just kind of go. You ever walk away from something and you're having a cup of coffee or something, like, what did I just read? Yeah,
it's like 100 and some pages, right? 180 80 some pages.
The entirety of it.
And yet, there's still more millions than that being spent. But anyways, is there one thing or two things that you've seen that you'd like to see cut?
God, I wish I could give you a clear-cut answer. I can give you a good story. How's that?
I love it.
Can I end with a good story? When I was a child growing up on Westfield Avenue down behind Oak Park.
Sure.
And, when you're a kid, especially little boys, into trucks and stuff like that. And I remember the water department, I think they were just testing. They would come on the street, lift up the manhole cover, and the water truck would come, and they'd just dump water down it. I think they were measuring the flow. But I zeroed in on this. The trucks that they had, the water trucks, it looks like someone in the shop had just put them on a flatbed, and they actually had the wheel well covers, were what you and I have around our basement windows. Those steel, they were probably 99 cents back in the day. That's what they had over the covers.
Okay.
That kind of stuff, that kind of, simple ingenuity, what I've talked about before in the military, what they call, field work. You make it work in the fields, I mean, and being a musician, hey, I'm the kid. I can fix a lot of stuff with duct tape.
Made that work.
You can keep a guy's toupee on with that if you're really good.
You know how you're doing it.
Yeah. A little spray paint, but
It's fine.
But I mean, we don't need the cream of the crop all the time. I realize, I'm not saying we should go to, Pete's budget car lot to pick out fire trucks and police cars or whatever. I mean, you have to think accordingly to it. Okay, the vehicles are being used all the time. They're being abused. Probably can't afford to cut there, but where could you? Are there things that we could get away with that? And I really do see such a change. I mean, like Josiah said, I mean, the budget's increased like 4 times. Is it because everyone thinks they have, they want, and I get it, everyone wants to have the nice stuff. I'm just going to take the approach of we can go in there, and especially when I get to walk around and see more, if I get to, I should say. I'm not presumptuous,
Right.
but that there will be areas that we can change that won't bring about harm. I don't want to just come in there and
Start
I don't
acting,
have the power to either to go and say you're gone. But I mean, if there's also extraneous hirings and things like that, do we really need that? I love the stories you hear, the small towns where the sheriff is also on the fire department.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing everything.
And that's certainly how it was. My time in the military, they used to pound that in our heads all the time. A jack of all trades, master of none. You'd learn to. They brought it into the shop that I worked on. You had to work on it. That kind of
One way or the other.
It's good experience. It really is. It's good experience.
Well,
yeah.
good conversation.
Yeah.
Appreciate you
Good
coming
fun.
on.
Thanks for the philosophical update. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Yes. I try to throw that out in the world when I can a little bit. Yes.
been
We
great.
didn't get to Voltaire. Maybe we should keep going for a little bit.
We'll have to get you on the next couple
Yes,
weeks. We'll
okay.
dive into that. I love it.
So, again, election day is June 9th, so get
Coming
out,
up.
make your decision.
Yeah.
Hopefully, voters have enough information to be able to do that.
Yep.
So,
All right.
all right, thanks for coming on. We'll be on a 2-minute break, and then we have some
Survey numbers.
survey numbers.
Battery storage center discussion. It's gonna be
Yeah,
fun.
a lot of different things. So you do not want to jump off. Go grab a drink of water and be back in 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Ta-da.
In the demanding world of oil and gas, precision, safety, and efficiency are non-negotiable. Unmanned operator drone services revolutionizes how you monitor, inspect, and manage your operations. With cutting-edge technology and expert operators, we deliver real-time data, detailed reports, and actionable insights for our valuable clients. Why risk the safety of your team or waste precious time? Our drones access even the most challenging areas with ease, reducing downtime and enhancing safety across your sites. We take the guesswork out of your projects by offering LiDAR, mapping, and inspection services so that your projects stay safe, on budget, and on time. Unmanned operator drone services, where technology meets safety, precision, and efficiency. Contact us today to elevate your operations. Yes, pun intended.
Hi, I'm Steve Podregula. I'm running for Minot City Council. I'm asking for your vote because I believe I have the experience, common sense, and judgment to be an effective leader. In the 16 years I've served the city, I've seen us grow and develop, but we can do even better. My top 5 priorities are as follows. 1, making sure our tax dollars are wisely spent, including keeping a lid on property taxes. 2, enhancing public safety through better police and fire protection. 3, increasing openness and accountability in government and developing a shared vision for the future. 4, improving infrastructure, particularly flood protection and better street maintenance. And 5, enhancing the quality and efficiency of city services. In these challenging times, experience and understanding do matter. Working together, we can help Minot become an even better place to live and grow. I would appreciate your vote on June 9th. Thanks.
There we are.
Hey, we're back.
Oh, that was a jinx.
Yeah, go away. All right, that was a fun deal that we did.
Yeah. Glad we got to have 5 candidates on over the
Yeah.
last week here to be able to have a little
Right.
bit more discussion on some stuff. It was
To be
really good.
Fair, we were a little bit late, but Not trying to cast any feelings towards anything. So
Yeah, it was last minute. We thought of this Monday afternoon, so it wasn't like we've been planning this for weeks.
So that was a good time. Now the next big thing is what?
It's
survey. But next big thing is an election that's going to go on June 9th.
Yeah, voting has started, folks.
It has.
If you haven't voted yet, you can get out to vote early still. I love to do it. I plan on doing it right when we get done up here.
He votes often. He loves it.
I vote once when available. But first off, little background on the survey we did. Started last Thursday and it ran through last night, Wednesday. We surveyed people who are likely and eligible voters in Minot. Tried to keep it at least contained. It got out a little bit, so always take it with a grain of salt. This is a survey. This isn't exit poll. This isn't scientific. This is us trying to do our best to get as many likely voters out here as possible.
Yeah. So how many people do you think you got?
Specifically, we got, if you want the number, 94 total respondents, which is last time we did this 2 years ago, we had I think right around 60. Compared to our exit polls last fall, we had almost 200 of those.
Yeah, we had a lot in the exit poll.
Yes.
And that exit poll was pretty.
It was very accurate. So I would definitely expect to see a similar number on that with our exit polls next week when we do that. But for now, we polled 4 different races: the mayoral race here in town, the city council race, of course. We also did the county state's attorney race and the U.S. House race. So wanted to throw a little curveball in there, and wanted to keep also a big statewide race open to have people put their opinion in as well.
So where do you want to kick it off, boss?
Where do you have pulled? Looks like you have the House race pulled
Is that where you want to go? I can go wherever you want. I'm a producer.
I see the House race on there, so we'll start there. We'll keep people in anticipation a little bit
All right,
more.
we're starting with the House. There we go.
There it is. All right. So what you're seeing here is a 3-way race with also undecided as well. It looks like it's a 3-way race for one position. Got to remember, this is 2 different races contained in this poll here. Yeah. So you have Trygve Hammer getting 29% of the total vote surveyed. You have Julie Fedorchak over about 34.5, and you have Alex Balaz at about 22.5.
And so the thing that's important to remember about this one is clearly, most likely, a Republican is going to get into office here. And most likely that Republican will be Julie Fedorchak, right? Mm-hmm. That's something that you didn't need this poll to understand. But it kind of sets kind of the tone of the entire poll, because some people are going to say, well, I don't agree with this, or whatever. But go back to this result and be like, is this, how close is the poll here, or survey here? And that kind of sets the tone of perhaps maybe in these other areas, it's somewhat close. Wouldn't you say?
I completely so. This is going to be something that I think will be, again, these are all nonpartisan elections. The only one that has a partisanship is this race. So I didn't even frankly intentionally do this, but the way it's worked out is this almost acts as a litmus test for who took the poll without knowing specifically who took the poll. I mean, it's vague, and you also have 14% undecided. So there's still a fair bit of room for this to swing one way or the other, especially come November. The big thing will be is Balaz going to be able to make up enough ground against Fedorchak come Tuesday?
I wouldn't believe so.
I'm fully in line with that. I think it'll be. Obviously, he's going to get far more of the vote than he got 2 years ago in the primary race then. But I think this, frankly, is probably, I could see this being a 12-point race. So it ended up being, a 60-40 split in Fedorchak's favor is kind of where I would see this line right now. Now, next
we'll go to the city attorney, state's attorney, Ward County state's attorney race.
And this one's between Christopher W. Nelson and Andrew Schultz. And the big takeaway from this is over a quarter of the respondents were still undecided. So a lot of room left for this to swing.
Yeah, but even at that, Schultz still won.
Has a majority in this. So right now, looking very well for Andrew at this point. It's coming. He has over a 50% margin, which obviously this has a lot of room to grow with this. But I would definitely say that this one looks like it is leaning one way.
Right. Yeah. He's a candidate that is able to pull from both sides, and again, it's nonpartisan race, and so people are able to unite behind him. He also has decent name recognition, and Christopher Nelson has worked in the state's attorney's office. I don't know that he has as much name recognition because of the way that the office just naturally works, where Rosa
is
Larson,
the name, yeah.
and so that's something an obstacle that he has had to work to overcome, and so it'll be interesting how much he was able to overcome on June 9th.
Undoubtedly, yeah. And this is going to be one that'll continue on, but just to get a little idea of where people are sitting now, I think this provides a pretty good example of at least a little bit more non-establishment with that pick.
For sure.
Now it looks like we're going to go over to the mayor race next, I think.
Yes.
And this one is looking pretty large compared to last year as well. It looks like it's fairly in line with last fall, how it kind of ended up. Janser's out to a massive lead. About 2/3 of respondents were in favor of him on this. There's still, 15% undecided. So you still have roughly 1 in 6 to 1 in 5 voters not sure who they're going to vote for yet, depending if, take it with a grain of salt. But I think that's probably fair to say, even this far out. Looking at some of the specific survey entries we had, there were complete slates that just had undecided on everything. So definitely.
Just for the fun of it.
It could be, but also I think it shows that there's a strong possibility that there are people that legitimately aren't sure who they're voting for yet.
I believe that.
And
sorry, bro.
Oh no, you're. I'm on my soapbox here with this. I'm sorry, but Janser's at 66%. Josiah's sitting at 19%, and then the undecided is right about 15%. So Josiah's going to have a little bit of room to make up this weekend if he wants to try to get this a little bit closer. But again, take it with a grain of salt. But it looks like this one's probably leaning one way too.
It does appear that way.
And now
the one that probably people actually cared about.
Yeah, this is what's getting the most talk around town right now. It's the city council race.
Should we show it?
I think they should show it to him.
Okay.
And there it is, folks. This is an incredible poll. Watching the numbers come in and watching these jump all over the place was crazy to me. You have Dr. Steve Padragula, who is sitting in first at about 41.5%. So also a caveat with how this works. Since this is a select up to 3 category, the percentages you see are the percentages of how many times this person showed up on someone's 3 selections. So on 41.5% of the people that responded, they had Padragula as one of their 3 options. That
it's going to be the same way on the actual ballot, right?
Yes, and that, just a caveat if that's how these work specifically, because
so numbers aren't all messed up.
Yeah, and when the ballot comes out on Tuesday, you'll see close to 3 times the amount of people voted for this race compared to the mayor race.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's just counting because were technically that many votes cast, but total ballots actually it's going to be similar to what the mayor race would be.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah,
so
you have Padragula in first,
Brassfield in second
by a 1% gap.
1%,
and then you have
Locken and Keller
tied at third. But then right behind them is McMartin and Hawbaker, who are right within striking distance of anything at that
When we
stage.
did our projections, we didn't have this order right, but we had that the margin between third and sixth was small.
Yeah.
That's something that pretty much everybody said.
Yeah, when we did that a week or 2 ago, that was pretty much in line with our thoughts on that.
So that looks accurate, but the person leading it is not. I believe that most of us had John McMartin leading it.
I think, yeah.
And it looks like the name I assume name rec, I don't know, could be wrong. Maybe it's 4,000 doors knocked. Who knows what it is? Something has Stephen Padragula in the front there. And so kudos to him.
Yeah.
And Brassfield is leading. Really, it looks like based off this, I mean, obviously there's a fairly large gap between second and sixth, 10%. But really, almost you could make a case that it's a toss-up based off this, it's a toss-up for second through sixth.
Yeah, I completely agree. Just basing it solely off this poll, I think, again, when we talked about this, we did our little power rankings thing before, we had kind of in mind that there was going to be one shoe-in effectively. I think we were just wrong on who that shoe-in might be.
Yeah, but it makes no sense. Maybe not no sense, but it doesn't. What's weird, and the reason why we pointed it out was if you were to look at the House race, I don't think you would go and say that this would be your top
Not at all.
one,
Yeah,
let alone top 3.
Completely, there's ballots being split on this because of this, and I think that this shows that you're going to have people that are voting city council in different ways than they're going to be voting for that House race and voting, for their state legislative races too. And I think this is, like you said, this is going to be a complete toss-up from and I think coming into this too, Padragula might not even take first, but I think it's most likely that he's going to be sitting at this point. At least it looks like it. That's how I would be leaning. But regardless, when you go from 2 to 6 through in this race, it's going to be it's anyone's to grab.
What's interesting is that you have 3 votes. Okay, and so if you go and you try to align candidates, which is a little bit potentially unfair. Okay, and I get that, and I'm going to do it, but
Caveat with that,
it is a little bit unfair because just because you align them doesn't mean that they agree on everything. There's still the different viewpoints and everything that they have. But you have take, and it feels like from the conversations that we've heard, from the debates, from the forums that have gone on, from the interviews that we've done, that these people are somewhat together. You'd have Joan Hawbaker, Isaiah Keller, somewhat in the same camp. You would have Brassfield and McMartin somewhat in the same area.
Yep.
You would have Padragula and Locken somewhat in the same area. Okay, which means that there's sets of 2s. So there's always, even if somebody does that, and there's this ticket thinking or whatever.
Pseudo ticket kind of thing.
Yeah, there's still a
Who's the
third
third one you're
vote
gonna-
that they have. And that's part of what makes it really unpredictable in this, because if there's somebody, well, these are the 2 that I vote for, but this candidate I like, and that candidate is consistent across people, then that person gets a runaway because they're on some people's primary tickets, and there are somebody's second, or there's some people's primary votes and some people's secondary votes.
Even if people are not the most passionate about a certain candidate and they think that this is going to be the best candidate, especially because of how you set this up in the race that we're looking at, if they have their 2 that they are passionate about, but they think this third one is going to be competent, good, do whatever the descriptor is for it, then they're going to get on that ballot too. And guess what? That's going, and I think we've seen it a little bit in this poll, that's going to cross over between these different, pseudo slates that we're seeing here.
Yeah, absolutely. And that if there's a consistent candidate that gets that spot, they'll run away with it. They'll be in, and who knows about the pseudo ticket things, because they're not really tickets. Just to be very clear, I'm just saying that you begin to see people group a little bit on thinking.
Similar ideological kind of approach between things.
Correct.
And just on the macro of it all.
Yep.
And also, to point out with this, then
You know what?
First,
one thing.
go
Sorry.
ahead.
You know what? One thing your poll missed.
What's that?
And it's my bad because I should have thought about it. Is this half-cent sales tax?
Yeah, I completely thought of that after I published it. I completely regretted not doing that. You're right. But so first off, one thing, got to remember who took this survey, and it's it was all sent out electronically.
Right.
So I think
take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. So there's a solid chance that some voters that are going to have preferences that maybe are a little lower down on this list maybe didn't take this survey. So there is a solid, like, again, this is like, I will have a margin of error for our exit polls. This has no margin of error. This is
go back to the fact of if we just showed you the U.S. House race, you'd be like, oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And so on my second point then that I was thinking of earlier here, you also have a very large amount of undecided voters.
Yeah.
They're about 16%. You have a lot of people that put other respondents as well.
And you know what those others were.
And, well, looking at the big picture of it, it shows that there is a very spread out vote for this. And there's still
Who's
a lot
other?
And so there's a lot of undecideds that are still out there that are going to have their ballot split one way or the other.
Seeing
Like we were-
18% coming as other, does that kind of make you, like, how does that make you feel?
good, but also at the same time, I would be shocked if that other category and write-in
Pulls in
category
18?
pulls in above. If it
Yeah.
gets double digits, I would be shocked.
The thing is, though, is it goes back to, and I tease Kyler because if you can see through the teasing, you can. If you can't, then I guess you can't. But goes back to the whole two-voter thing.
Yeah.
Is there's people that, well, I don't know that I really would like to vote for somebody outside of the
They're
category
too
that I
preferred,
did.
yeah.
So I'll write in somebody.
Mm-hmm. And I think you're going to see much more of that this year than you've seen in a Minot race in a long time.
Yep.
I'm not saying that it's so. Okay, just context for that. Over the last, I'll just say 6 years, you haven't seen a write-in total on a mayor council ballot that's exceeded 1%. Most of them are right around a quarter to 0.5%. I think you're going to see it be, it's going to be a few points. I'm not. I think that's safe to say, but anywhere near 18, I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let us know thoughts on this race, what you see as your order. I don't know. Now it's really tough.
Yeah.
We can't do a power rankings now because it's all tainted.
Here's your power ranking. Yeah, this is your unofficial Dakotan power rankings right here.
On Tuesday, we're going to talk about something else for a couple minutes. Mm-hmm. That plane's coming in a little bit low.
We're gonna crash.
So on Tuesday, though, we're going to be going live that night.
We are.
What time are we going live at?
Is it 7?
All right, 7 o'clock. We're going live
That's when polls close.
from the Dakotan studio. And
Are we going to be live Tuesday morning?
yeah,
Okay.
we'll be going live Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Mm-hmm. We're going to have a ton of special guests.
Yep.
Some will be joining us in studio. Some will be remote. It's going to be a good
fun.
time.
Yep.
Be breaking down results once they finally get in.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be talking about statewide stuff. Some of the races that matter there.
There's a lot.
There are. Going to be talking about local races and sales tax
Yeah, it's going to
initiative.
be the big initiative on there. Is going to be sales tax. Going to really look forward to seeing if that ends up passing or not. I think probably I would. Again, I should have put it on this. I regret not, but again, I think it's probably leaning towards passing at this
I
point.
think, though, people felt that way last time. But I also think that the park district, last time people were upset. You didn't advertise it enough, blah, blah, blah.
They have been out
They have
there.
done their best. They have taken out ads. They have pushed it. They have beat the ground.
They've
They
been
have
at
done
every speaking event possible they could go to. If anyone in the community
As far as we
invited them
know,
out,
yeah.
as far in all apparentness to it, anyone that's pretty much invited them out,
Allegedly.
they've been to. Yes,
So they have done a lot of work for that. So so good on them for responding to that criticism positively.
Yep.
And just saying, fine,
Yep.
we'll beat the ground, and they did.
Yeah, undoubtedly. And you're going to see there's a few races in Minot and Ward County that aren't contested. So those are going to be pretty cut and
There's
dry.
one that is.
There's one that's very much so. And this council race is going to come down to the wire. It is going to come.
Yeah, council, but you were talking about local races that are contested. District 3 is a contested race.
Me. Yes, 100%. I was going to get to that on the legislative side. Yes,
Okay.
and that is our big contested statewide race
Yeah.
in the Minot area.
It's going to be an interesting one.
You have Jeff Hoverson, who is a very well-known statewide legislator for a multitude of reasons. You have Crystal Hendrickson, who is a beginner for this. She's been in some board and commission work committee work, but this is the first real test to see how this new ticket, along with Senator Bob Paulson will be the Republican nominee. It's not a contested race for that side of it. But when you have Hoverson and Hendrickson, who are running together, going up against Blaine DeLoyers and Tim Mahalik, who are both
Gov-backed candidates.
Yes, Governor Armstrong has put his money and backing behind them, and
Maybe not Republican endorsed, but governor endorsed.
yes, which again,
So if the Republican endorsement means nothing, then
I think, does any of it mean anything?
so what means more? I guess that's the question.
I think that's what we're going to have a chance to find out.
We're going to find out. Yeah, in your mind, what means more, governor endorsed or Republican endorsed?
I'm different. Did you ask what Kyler personally thinks, or what I think people will think?
Let's go with what people will think.
I would lean towards the Republican.
Really?
Slate,
Because
but
there's no letter on the.
They're all
it's just
running
Republic,
for-
right? So how does that work?
It might be partially name
It's
recognition.
all name
based.
recognition. So what gets you more name recognition?
And who spends more money then, I guess, is a side note of it. But
So then it almost seems like governor endorsed might carry more weight.
at least in circles, it will. Like you might have more, maybe it might be a little more broad spread where you're going to have that. I think
It just depends on how popular the governor really is.
you know what my prediction is right now. I think Hoverson and Mahalik get in, and it's going to be a mess and a fight.
Really?
Yeah, that's my
Hoverson
prediction.
and Mahalik. That'd be actually kind of fun.
Yeah, it would be very interesting.
I don't know if that would be great, but there'd be a lot of stories.
There
Probably.
would be. People would write about it. People would talk about it.
Yeah. Hendrickson has an uphill battle.
She does.
But Hoverson last election had a newer name candidate run with him, and he was the one that got the lowest vote total.
Yep. Like he beat
Roscoe Striley by double digits, but it was like less than 20.
Yeah. I was going to say maybe 20, and it was a very close race there. So I look forward to that. Make sure you tune in with us on election night. We'll be live here for a couple hours talking over everything. Like maybe the last mayor race, we had the winner on. Hopefully we'll get a couple winners on as well. We'll definitely have some candidates on, have a lot of takes, a lot of reactions. But I have one other story that I need to talk about a little bit.
Get it out of your system.
So this is about the Ward County Commission. I watched the Ward County Commission meeting this week, and they had actually a lot of really interesting things. This was one of their more, I don't want to say substance-based, but in-depth meetings that had things that felt like they carried a lot more weight than normal. That's probably too harsh, and I don't mean it that way. But the big thing from it was a discussion that revolved around a county ordinance for battery storage centers. Yeah. So what are battery storage centers? First of all, they are not AI data storage centers. They are different. They are much smaller, but it is conceptually similar. You are taking a very large industrial warehouse space that is going to put off generic noise and light pollution. Just it is what it is with that side of it. But it's, again, much, much smaller than an AI data center. And the thing with the battery storage center is what it is used for and designed for is to store electricity. So it's not like it is a complete drain on a power supply. This is actually a source to store more electricity, which, big picture, there's another wind project that's coming up. And so this could be a part of the storage facility for those that end up getting built. But the interesting thing was Ward County doesn't have an ordinance for any battery storage centers. Okay. So when this passed through the Planning Commission, they adopted the Montreal County and I believe the Williams County ordinances, a little bit of both that they had. Well, the interesting thing with that, Montreal County is currently in a moratorium period while they're finishing theirs. Oh, gotcha. It's not finalized. It's a tentative thing at this point. And so County Commissioner Miranda Schuler put a motion out for Ward County to adopt a moratorium period for, because since this was passed and given to them from the County Planning Commission, this is effectively the first reading of an ordinance at this point that would be adopted. So she wanted to propose a moratorium to allow, time to finalize the ordinance between the County Commission and the Planning Commission, and also give the public a little bit more notice. Well, that got shot down 4-1. So fast forward, they end up adopting the ordinances as written in this first reading 4-1 with the plan that, over the next month before I think it'll be the first meeting in July when it'll take place, which would be then the second reading of this ordinance, which it would be passed into law at that point in time to end up trying to make any fixes necessary in this next month and have anything that they need to do, any red line rewrites kind of things, all available at that secondary meeting. And so this might create a little bit of a shakeup with some, but also it's vastly different from an AI thing. So I don't think it'll have the same kind of weight and carry as that would. But it's definitely going to, if it gets out there, most likely it'll generate some conversation. I figured it would, yeah. And I saw the Minot Daily had an article on it yesterday, which I thought summed it up well. But also, I was busy doing my polling, so I didn't end up writing an article on it. I apologize. But makes sense. We're here with it, and I had to at least speak about that on here because, again, these are very, very different from AI data centers, but it's something that I think we should at least be aware of, and frankly, a little concerned that this wasn't something that was put into a moratorium, especially when the people that you see on the commission would have been in favor of, at least putting a pause on it, but it is what it is. Interesting for sure. So that's something we'll be tracking as it comes up for that second reading. Yeah, 100%. I'll probably even go to that commission race. Yeah, probably. Yeah, he's all about races right now. Wish I could have got him to spit out his ghost. That would have been a great way to end the episode. Would have been epic. It would be good to have a commissioner on to talk about it, though. I think we'll have to, yeah. Yeah, we probably will. Thank you for watching this episode. We're going to call it quits for today. We do want you to tune in Tuesday, 9 a.m. We're going to be getting that pre-vote. I was going to use the word vibe, but I didn't really want to use that word vibe. But anyways, we're going to be getting to the pre-vote breakdown for you. Of course, a lot of people have already voted.
And then that night, going live 7 p.m. until results come out, which will probably be around 9:30. I believe that's what it was last.
Yeah, somewhere between
last time.
9 and 10. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be kind of a late night. I'm looking forward to that. Love me some good late nights. So
It's a blast, man.
Yeah.
Then make sure you check out mydakotan.com. We'll have the article up about the survey data here as well.
yes, it's going to be all coming at you. So thank you for watching this episode of Minot Talk here at the Dakotan every Tuesday, every Thursday.
We're still doing it.
At 9 a.m. You don't want to miss out. Like, subscribe, join that community. Tell your friends about it.
We're here.
Text one person today and say, hey, you need to tune in to the Dakotan Minot Talk Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Let's break some records. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.